Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to our cozy little corner of the internet. I'm Pen and today it's not the 1000 subscriber special, but I do have another crack fic for you. Moments in the 1A dorms that made Aizawa question his sanity by a broken lava lamp. I hope you guys enjoy it. I know it's not the 1000 subscriber special, but at this point it's 8,000 words long and it's gonna be a little longer, so let's just hope that I don't die while writing it. Anyway, here is a summary. Aizawa is really losing it. Why had Nezu cursed him with the class of the most problematic children to ever walk the face of the earth? Oh, Aizawa knew why. It was because he expelled his whole class last year, wasn't it? Or, Aizawa has seen some pretty weird shit in the dorms. Before we get into this, I just want to thank you all for 1,000 subscribers. That's just so unbelievable. I was actually in tears this morning, and I'm tearing up again. Okay, so sorry. But just know that your support means the world to me, and thank you. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Anyway, let's get into this fic. Aizawa was making his way into the kitchen in the Heights Alliance dormitory. Looking at the clock, he saw it read 3 a.m. Sighing, he grabbed his favourite coffee mug and started making his black coffee. Sure, he knew it was unhealthy, but he had grading to do. Was there other things he would rather be doing at this time? Yes, but there were things that had to be done, and due to his patrol schedule, this is when grading had to be done. Enjoying the sweet smell of caffeine coming from the machine, he decided to look over the soon-to-be graded assignments. With the one on top of the pile was Ashido's. Ashido was a loud, outgoing child. She most likely had some sort of ADHD or some other attention deficit disorder. That wasn't to say that she wasn't a person he didn't like in his class. No, she cheered people up when they needed it. But for the love of Kami, she needed to stop making TikToks in the middle of his lessons. His coffee was just about finished when he heard the soft chatter come from the common room. Confused, he tried to think of what or who might be up at this time. Using his training as an underground pro, he stealthily made his way over. Peering into the common room, he saw a faint glow of light, and sitting around the table were none other than Tokiyami, Jiro, Yaoyorozu, Shinzo, and Problem Child. The five of them were holding teacups that smelt to be chamomile. There we go. I can never say that. Chamomile tea. And the 5 copies of the book, the Song of Achilles. They seemed to be discussing the newest chapters that they had read. It was a book club, hosted at 3 in the morning. What the fuck? That was exactly what Aizawa was thinking as he looked over the scene. After standing for a few minutes, observing, he decided to finally ask them why in the world were they having a book club meeting at this ungodly hour of the morning. Oh, hello, Yaoyorozu-sensei. Hello, Aizawa-sensei, Yaoyorozu said, a bit harsh, her kind and chipper voice. Jiro simply waved, and Midoriya gave a small smile, while Tokoyami nodded. Aizawa also gave a small nod and asked with a gruff voice, "What are you 5 doing up?" with her brow raised. Midoriya seemed sheepish, but responded, "Sorry, we're just having our weekly book club meetings." The other 4 nodded along with him. "Yes, Sensei, I do deeply apologize for the darkness that we have made fall upon your morning," Tokiyami piped up, putting one of the scones that he was resting on the plate up to his beak. Aizawa sighed, exasperated. "It's fine, but you all really ought to get back to your dorms about now. School starts in..." Looking at the wall clock across the room, he continued, 4 hours and 45 minutes. They all gave noises of gestures of agreement and started cleaning up. After they were done, they all bid him good night. Sorry for the trouble, Aizawa-sensei, Jiro said. Yeah, feel free to join us next week, though, Shinzo added with a smirk. Aizawa simply rolled his eyes at his students' antics and waved them off. Yeah, good night, Hellions. Aizawa hid a smile in his capture weapon. Aizawa was just getting back to the dorms after a staff meeting about the security system being updated. There had been so many villain attacks that year that Nezu had finally decided to up the system a bit. Aizawa thought it was much needed. Honestly, what was he supposed to do with the demon people he called his class? When he opened the door to the building, his ears were immediately assaulted by Bakugo's loud screeching and small explosions coming from his hands. Turning on his quirk and erasing Bakugo's own quirk, he got the common room to quiet down. Turning a corner to see a crowd of students, he saw Bakugo being held by Kirishima and Todoroki being attempted to be held back by Ida. After the two boys had been released and dealt with by Aizawa, Ida gave him the probably headache-inducing story. Apparently, Todoroki had been sitting on the couch and subtly attempting to flirt with the ever-oblivious Izuku Midoriya. Bakugo was on dinner duty in the shared kitchen when he shouted to Todoroki and Midoriya to get a room. From there, it all escalated to Todoroki and Bakugo trying to strangle each other, while Midoriya and the rest of his ragtag group of friends, plus Kirishima, who were trying to play Monopoly previously, were extremely confused. After hearing the story that he felt like had way too many details, he sighed and rubbed his temples. Midoriya, who was now aware that Todoroki had been trying to flirt with him, was now a blushing mess. Aizawa wasn't even going to question how they got a hold of any board games, because they had formerly been banned when they first moved into the dorms, after Sato got angry at Ojiro for beating him at Candyland and broke the board game. After the previous fight, Aizawa handed out the necessary detentions and headed up to his apartment above the dorms to take a much-needed nap. Aizawa was sitting in the common room. Why? Because his hellish class had provided him even more trouble, had been proved to be even more trouble than he thought. He was currently finishing up grading the essays he assigned last week on quirk discrimination laws. It had come to his attention that times were slightly different from when he was growing up. Was it only 15 years ago? Yes, but it turns out statistics can flip like a switch in a short amount of time. Even then, when he was younger, he still got bullied and harassed for his weak and villainous quirk. Aizawa wanted to make sure that he raised heroes who were the best of the best, and that meant making sure they were non-discriminatory. That's the best you're gonna get. Then there was a bang and a scream. Kaminari and Ashido came running into the common room, screaming bloody murder. What? Is everything okay? He asked, suspicious. There's blood all over the bathroom, Ashido said, her voice high-pitched. Kaminari nodding along with her, seemingly agreeing with all that she was saying. While the dorms did have separate showers and locker rooms separated by gender, the common rooms had a small half-bathroom that only had a toilet and one sink with an overhead cabinet. Raising an eyebrow, he replied, Okay, alright then, let's go check it out. Walking towards the smaller bathroom down the hall, he realized something. Why were you two going into the single bathroom together? Kaminari squeaked. Well, you see, Sensei, I, needed help? Aizawa raised an eyebrow. Ashido jumped in, explaining. Aw, Sparky here is just so embarrassed that he needed help with me cutting his hair. Slinging an arm around Kaminari's shoulder. Kaminari sighed and said, Yeah, my bangs were getting a little too long and my barber was closed today. We have classes tomorrow and I needed my hair cut by then. Taking it as a truthful answer and arriving at the single bathrooms, he opened the door. Kirishima's red hair dye was all over the countertop and mirror. Well, that explained it. Walking past the open door with freshly dyed bright red hair was Kirishima. Kirishima glanced towards the small group and paused in his tracks. I knew I was forgetting something, he shouted. Was a shouted explanation Kamado had yelled at Aizawa's exasperated face. It turns out Kirishima had gone out to get a snack after he rinsed his hair dye out of his hair and had forgotten to clean up the mess. After he was done, he apologized profusely to Kaminari, Ashita, and Aizawa. Aizawa was sitting in the bathroom in his apartment above the dorms, eating dinner with his beloved husband Yamada Hisashi. That night they were having tonkatsu. I don't know what that is. Tonkatsu. It was nice. Zashi was a good cook. They were having a discussion about how Aizawa hated Vlad King. Vlad King was always so brash. Vlad was impulsive and didn't take orders from anyone except Nezu. 1, because Nezu was his boss and could fire him, and 2, the rat enlisted fear into everyone he crossed paths with, including Aizawa. They were getting started on the dishes when Aizawa got a phone call. Looking down at the caller ID, he saw it was none other than the Musatafu Police Department. Picking up the line, he sighed. Yes. Detective Tsukauchi was on the other end of the line, sounding just as tired as Aizawa. Hi, Aizawa. We have one of your students here. Aizawa figured as much. Which one is it, and what do I need? And do I need to break out my bail money funds? Hisashi gave Aizawa a questioning look. No, you don't need to, but we have Koda, Shoji, and Ojiro here. Those were the least expected students he would have thought would end up in jail. What did they do? He asked tiredly, pinching the bridge of his nose. Yeah, they shoplifted. Shota paused. What? Of all his demon children, he thought that they were the only sane ones. Turns out he was wrong. Tsukauchi continued. They tried to rob a pet store because Koda wanted a pet parakeet for his bunny to be friends with, and none of them had any money to buy it on them. Apparently Koda really wanted the bird because next thing you know, all 3 of them were running out of the pet store with 10 birds on each of their arms. Aizawa was so over this. He had Hisashi drive him to the station to pick up his kids, got them out, he was driven back home, then took a nap curled up with his cat and husband. Aizawa either needed a pay raise, vacation, or both, or else he would not be continuing this job, because he was not paid enough for the shit his class does outside of school hours. Okay, everyone, that was the one-shot moments in the 1A dorms that made Aizawa question his sanity. I hope you guys enjoyed. I did, because it was quite fun, honestly. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that, and once again, thank you all for all the support I've gotten on this channel. I'll be posting one of the subscriber specials, the bloopers, because I've got literally 98 bloopers now, so be expected that to be like a 20-minute video or something, just all of my outtakes. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for being there to support me. You genuinely don't know how much it means to me. Thank you once again, have a good day, and take care of yourself. Bye.